Zowie are releasing more products, and this time it's a new version of some of their most popular mousepads. The GSR2 and the GSR SE Gris aim to improve on what was the preferred choice for a lot of professional gamers, but just like their gaming mice, Zowie are experiencing some tough competition from some up-and-coming brands. But what has changed from the original versions, and how do they perform and also feel? And not only will I be answering those questions, but I have performed some vital testing to see if these two mousepads can withstand a truly degenerate lifestyle. However, I have only used a glass mousepad for the last few months, and I love glass pads. So there was a lot of adjusting on my part. Was it successful? You'll find out. Starting off with the GSR2, from what I can tell, the speed of this hasn't changed from the original GSR. So this is a slow mousepad. And this was one of the go-to choices for CSGO players a few years ago, along with the Logitech G640 and the SteelSeries Quick Heavy. But from my brief research, it's dropped in popularity with the continuing rise of other brands like Artisan, LGG, Vaxi and Xtrafy. But why has it dropped? One of the common complaints that Zowie has apparently directly tried to solve is that it struggled with humidity in comparison to other pads. As a real world example, if you're a sweaty gamer like me or in a humid climate, a lot of people felt that the mousepad would start to get really muddy. It would feel really inconsistent, with parts of the mousepad feeling a lot slower than others due to how poorly it dealt with any moisture. Zowie's solution? Enhanced humidity resistance. In their promo video they did a test showing this improved humidity, and I'm going to replicate the same one. I'm testing the original GSR, the GSR2 and the Quick Heavy. I put around a tablespoon of water on each one. The original GSR still had water sitting on top of it, so it's not absorbing that moisture, and there's a bit of water spreading when I move the mouse around on top of it. The GSR2 however soaked up this water a lot quicker, and even though some of the water did spread a bit, it was quickly soaked again. And here is the SteelSeries Quick Heavy. You can't really see it, but it didn't take in any moisture and just spread it around. But this mousepad is like 5 years old, so it's probably filled with dead skin. After letting the water soak a bit, using the GSR2 didn't really have as much drag as the original did. So the humidity resistance has improved massively. And this humidity resistance also applies to the SE. But my testing didn't end there. In a previous video I mushed a banana into a mousepad to see how easy it was to clean. But I won't be doing anything so stupid in this one. Alright, so I did. I gave my GSR2 a little bit of banana. The SE Gris did also get a bit of spillage from a spaghetti bolognese, so that was already stained, so I didn't need to mush anything else into that. Both got a light scrub with some soap and water. They did take a few hours to dry because of the humid resistance holding that water a bit better, but that wasn't a problem and they both came out fine. I could have done a better job if I had actually scrubbed a bit more in the offending areas. Also, a little tip when you clean your mouse pads, try not to use too much soap, because if it dries and you haven't got it all out, it does affect the glide. I do want to take a moment though to apologise to Zowie, as they did send these mousepads out to me and I've effectively just mistreated them. In terms of playing with these, I have found it very difficult to adjust. The SR is a slow pad and the SE is a slightly faster to a medium speed, but coming from a glass pad where it's ridiculously fast and with no stopping power, these two just felt really slow in comparison. The stopping power on the SE is more noticeable than the SE, but with my main games at the moment being Apex Legends and BattleBit, I find that the stopping power isn't really that beneficial to my aim style. As the SE is a bit quicker, however, I did find it slightly easier to use. The stopping power isn't as impactful, so it was a bit more accommodating to my aim style, but it's just not as good as glass for me. And these cloth pads did create another problem for me again, and that is that I am just a messy, disgusting, degenerate gamer. If it's not crumbs, sauces or other food-based stains on a mousepad, it's cat hair, and with a glass pad I can just wipe it once and that's it. With cloth ones it's just not as easy, and honestly I just prefer the guaranteed consistency of a glass pad. But there is another issue that I feel could develop further with the SE Gris, which I will get onto in a moment. But if you want something with a slow speed that's great for tactical shooters, then a GSR2 is going to be great. The quality is the same as the original one, which I have had for years, and if the humidity issues was an issue with your original SR and a reason why you stopped using it, then you'll be happy to know that they have resolved it. At $34.99, I think these mousepads are reasonably priced, especially as it's not uncommon these days to find cloth mousepads going for about $50. In terms of specifications, both the SR and the SE grist have the same dimensions, 470 by 390mm with a 3.5mm thickness. A difference between the two though is that the SR has stitched edges but the SE grist does not. I have my arm sitting on the pad, and with other mouse pads that didn't have stitched edges, I eventually found that the top would separate from the base. And unlike stitch edges where you can cut off any loose threads, with an unstitched one you can't really cut off flappy bits of mouse pad, so it's just going to grate more. If non-stitch edges aren't an issue for you, then both these mouse pads will be fine. I'm quite impressed with the humidity resistance they've added, as it has been a big complaint for the SR especially for a while now, and it looks like it has been fixed. If I play CSGO again, I'd probably use it. I do however wish there was a version of the SE that actually has stitch edges. Regardless, it's great to see that Zowie have listened to feedback from the community and made the improvements that they wanted. If you want to see what I think about their wireless mice, there's a review on screen now that you can watch.